What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. More breaking news. What is happening? What is happening? What's happening at Arsenal Football Club? Our club now are moving crazy when it's coming to signings. So some positive good news for you all. I'm feeling a little bit run down, so forgive me for my voice. Woke up with a bit of a chesty cough and a sore throat. People are telling me it's carnival, but I'm trying to move away from that. It's nothing to do with carnival. Maybe I'm just run down. It's been a hectic week, but and me saying it's been a hectic week, not so much just me, but Arsenal Football Club. Now, news just broke as I went to hit record on doing this video. News just broke that Transport have reached an agreement in principle with Arsenal for Albert Sambi Lokonga. Transport's preference for a deal is a loan with an option to buy. Lokonga is understood to be looking forward to joining the Turkish club. That's just broken as I pressed record in this video. So the video is gonna be around Piero Hincapie and also Kiwior, but that just broke. So let me just break that down. Obviously, Turkish club are interested in Sambi Lokonga. It means that we're doing more outgoings. I spoke in the last video about I think Arsenal's incomes have been phenomenal. But now we're going to look to outgoings, but they're starting to move. Obviously, it's a loan, so I'm not going to spend too long on it. That's what they prefer. Travanspor, sorry, they want a loan instead of a sale. But it is what it is. That's Albert Sambi Lokonga. Obviously, when he arrived at Arsenal, there was big big props given about the way he plays from people like Vincent Company. I think even Thierry Henry had a word on him as well and said we're getting a good player. Obviously, didn't really materialize and work out at Arsenal, but it's looking like they'll be looking to go on loan. Right, we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward onto the conversations around what has literally happened. Well, yesterday, really, around Piero Hincapie, or pronounced Hincapie, which I think is the English way of saying it, but there's a Spanish way of saying it. Hincapie. I think that's the way they say it in Spanish, but I'm going to say Hincapie because that's how I read it. I may get it wrong. Forgive me for the pronunciation. But before we get into details around him, I was actually speaking with someone yesterday and talking about who's had the best window so far. And I know people looked at Liverpool. Some would say Arsenal. I think with this amount of signs we're doing, I can't believe it. Arsenal could tip it unless Liverpool go on and get Isak. But let me know in the comments who is right now having the best window so far. With this new looking like it's going to happen signing, this is going to be a big one. And let me break it down. It's from Fabrizio Romano. He tweeted, obviously yesterday David Ornstein tweeted, but Fabrizio Romano tweeted, this morning, Piero Hincapie said yes to Arsenal and personal terms have been agreed, long-term deal ready. Understand Hincapie favours Arsenal and also seen as an ideal signer for Mikel Arteta. Arsenal prepare opening bid, likely a loan plus obligation to buy with Kiwior to FC Porto. Now, again, there's been many updates around both of these. But let's just break this down quickly. Hincapie, left-sided defender, left-footed defender as well. Can play left-back. Obviously, he's coming from Bayer Leverkusen. He was in the squad that helped them get to their first Bundesliga title. He comes with good praise. He's young. He's 23. Very composed on the ball. His footballing IQ is actually very good. Now, I have done my due diligence mainly from yesterday, so obviously there needs to be more that needs to be done on the player. But yesterday, obviously, this news broke from David Ornstein. I had a look at the player, I looked at some highlights, some clips, and done some research on him. Like I mentioned, he is a good player. He actually kind of has the mold of Gabriel Magalhaes, very good aerially as well, which I'm not saying he's coming in to replace Gabriel Magalhaes, but we need a left-sided defender when it comes to the likes of Kiwior probably being moved on. It's looking that is pretty much can happen today, which I'll get to in a second. That would be the cover. So Hincapie coming in would probably be the best option for alternative to Gabriel Magalhaes. I think they have some similarities. Obviously, he's a lot younger, Hincapie. But for like I mentioned before, good footballing IQ, good aerially, physical, and yeah, he's a good player. Ecuadorian as well, and someone that I think will bed into this Arsenal side very well. And like we mentioned in the tweet from Fabrizio Romano, there was interest around the player. Tottenham Hotspur. It's happened again. I think they pulled out once they heard that he favoured Arsenal. They pulled out pretty quickly, but there was also murmurs around I think Real Madrid as well. I think Chelsea were also interested in Hincapie at a period of time as well. But let me break down what happened from Hand of Arsenal as well. He tweeted in the past couple of hours in conjunction to this transfer for Hincapie. Arsenal were packed with offers for Kiwior, but the player was set on Porto move. Palace made a serious attempt but failed to convince the Polish centre-back. Arsenal negotiating with Leverkusen to pay lower than the release clause for Hincapie. Personal terms are no issue. One other idea Berta has is to do both Kiwior and Hincapie loan with obligations, so both clubs can register the transfer on the next year financial books. Talks ongoing. I am not aware of an official approach for Arnu Martinez as of 9 a.m. That was Hand of Arsenal. I tweeted that this morning. He then tweeted literally 30 or 25 minutes before I hit record to follow up with a Kiwior update by saying, if all proceedings go as planned, Jakob Kiwior will make his way to Portugal today to finalise his move to Porto. Final details still being discussed about add-ons. Arsenal legal team is meticulous. Final stages. Best of luck, Jakob Kiwior. So, to me, that's a huge update. This went from Jakob Kiwior wants Porto, will the move be done, to this could happen literally today. Just to break that down quickly, obviously Jakob Kiwior, I think he's been actually a very good player for Arsenal. I think he got a bit of criticism that I think was unjust. I think he slotted in and he was needed and used massively when Gabriel went down for a period of time. I think it was last season before, and he stepped in and was fine. He actually was brilliant. Oh yeah, last season actually, I think he done really well there. So big up Jakob Kiwior, and listen, I wish him all the best. I want to kind of hone in on the fact that he was, linked to Crystal Palace. For me, that would have been an obvious move. They've obviously made 60 million off the sale of Eze. They would have probably made a good sale for him and paid good money for Jakob Kiwior, because we know they've got the money. Obviously staying in the Premier League, I thought in my head that would have been the best move. However, looking at it now, looking at the Porto link, that does make a lot of sense to me, because they got Champions League football next season. Obviously, we know with Crystal Palace, they were supposed to be in Europa League after obviously winning the FA Cup. However, obviously lost the appeal and now obviously playing the Europa Conference League. Jakob Kiwior, it is the World Cup year, or World Cup season, shall we say. Obviously next year's World Cup. So he's going to be wanting to be playing regularly and a mainstay in a team, whatever team it is. It's obviously looking to be Porto. He's going to want to make a claim for that World Cup spot for Poland. And listen, he's very much loved in Poland. He probably would have that, but he obviously wants to be playing. So looking at Crystal Palace, would he have got the minutes that he wanted? Is it the right destination? Wouldn't be playing the Champions League. You look at past defenders that have gone to Crystal Palace. No slight on Rob Holding, but Rob Holding currently at Colorado Rapids after barely really figuring in the Crystal Palace side after obviously going from Arsenal to there. So he might be looking at that. His agent will probably be looking at him and saying, listen, Porto's the right move for you. They finished third last year in the Premier League. And yeah, it makes sense that, to go to that club. And like I said, this is his favourite destination. It's looking like it's happening quite quickly. So maybe by the end of today, we'll have news that is all done and wrapped up. I don't know the actual fee. I don't think it's going to be a loan actually as well. Obviously, I don't know all the information of time of recording, but I don't think it'll be a loan. I think it's looking like there might be a fee involved. Listen, I think Jakob Kiwior could go for some money. I think there's been rumoured around 25 million, which I don't know, you let me know. Is that the right value? Should he be worth more? In my opinion, he could be worth a little bit more than that. I think he's, a Polish international, a very good defender. I think he's shown his quality at Arsenal. So the sales, again, it has been a little bit of a problem with Arsenal. And when it comes to judging a window in full, full context, I look at sales as well. But listen, we need to offload players to make back money and continue making purchases, which, if I'm honest, I will never say no to a signing. But I'm feeling a little bit greedy. I'm feeling a little bit full when it comes to the transfer window. But if more could come, please bring them on. I spoke about it before on live streams with Turkish on Talking Transfers that I believe we had 200 million before the transfer window opened. With the purchase of Eberechi Eze, obviously we didn't hit his release clause, so we didn't have to pay it in full. We can pay it in installments. We're probably around, it probably put about 20 million down for the initial signing of Eberechi Eze. Obviously, it's going to end up being 60 million over the course of the 3-5 years. We probably hit around now 200 million spend. So we're probably going to need, or just over 200 million spend. So we're going to need to make sales, maybe to get this Hincapie over the line. But it's looking very likely that this could happen, especially with the exit of Jakob Kiwior. It's looking like Arsenal are wanting to replace every position that gets sold. They're looking to replace them with equal quality or better, which is music to my ears as an Arsenal fan. Because as we've seen already in the 2 games, players are getting injured. Regularly, players are getting injured. We've lost 2 of our top players in Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard. Waiting to hear an injury update on them. So I think with that, we need to make make purchases, and that is what Arsenal are doing. So hats off to Andrea Berta being so ferocious and aggressive in the window. Hats off to the Kroenkes. Sometimes they don't get enough praise because of the past, but the thing that has been different is obviously Andrea Berta coming in. So I think he gets a lot of the plaudits because that seems like the change of Arsenal Football Club in the most recent years, and we've seen a change in the windows. In this window, considering what we've seen in past windows. So he's getting a lot of the big ups and the flowers, but big up the Kroenkes, man. It's their money. I feel like now that they're going to be dipping into to make some of these purchases. So yeah, man, that is it. That's the breaking news. It's looking like we're going in for Piero Hincapie, a left-sided defender to replace Jakub Kiwior. And also, like I mentioned at the top of this video, the move to Trabzonspor for Sambi Lokonga on loan. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Like the video on the way out. Hopefully I return to full health very soon and I'm back in the studio. But yeah, please like the video on the way out and I'll see you again soon. Some good news for you all to start the week. Peace.
Catch all the best shows from your favourite fan channels on GFN Soccer TV, now streaming on Samsung TV Plus.